Dr. Umar's trying to figure it out. I'm telling y'all, it's a whole thing right now, right? Black men are going through it. We just trying to sort it out. Umar is talking to, I don't know if y'all heard about this. I think y'all, anyway. So Umar is talking to Nick Cannon. And I think it was Nick Cannon. Anyway, so he's talking and he's like, yo, I got at least two of my beautiful queens that could have been like married to me right now. We could have been married, but they couldn't be patient and wait. They want to be married right now just because they had my baby. Just because they were the mothers of my children, then they thought we should be married. And he was like, I just wanted them to wait. They couldn't wait, and now they sitting there with their fate. I mean, he didn't say, oh, those are my bars. But what do you guys think? I mean, technically, I mean, he dropped it raw. You know what I'm saying? He spit it out raw. I mean, I ain't just talking about like how he got the kids. You know what I'm saying? He gave some real raw truth right there. And the question is he evolving the conversation or are we eroding the conversation? What do y'all think?
Well, hold
Yeah.
on. Yes, listen. First of all, I got to be honest, and I feel like some women really need to hear this, right? Because somehow y'all have this clock in your heads that sometimes, and this is just me again tapping into understanding the woman needs thing, because when I heard him say, hey, there were some women I would have married, but they didn't have the patience, how many of us have seen that movie before? And it breaks my heart because some of y'all just be leaving prematurely. And I have to ask myself, what was this timeline based off of? Like, no, dead ass, right? So let's say, for example, you're at a certain age and you have a timeline in your head. Okay, I get that. If I go into your bedroom and you have a little chalk, and by 35, this is going to happen, and you wrote it when you were 23, I can see that, right? Because you're committed. You know what I'm saying? Like, but most of y'all don't be doing that. Like, you meet a guy, which y'all really are, is impatient. A lot of times, just because you're ready and you're scared, you want the security of him returning the commitment or the relationship that you want, just because you gave him some because you really liked him, didn't even really think through whether or not he was worthy of it in the first place. But now you're here, right? So assuming that you did, because if you did meet him and you fucked with him and you vetted him, then you would trust that he's the one for you, right? What's the rush? I'm so confused, right? You either knew that you chose well or you didn't, right? Or maybe you chose well and it wasn't about him in the first place. It was about you wanting to get married at a particular time. Make it make sense. It's not like the niggas at the crib playing video games. You see he's outside, right? Was he not worth the wait? I'm so confused. So I get what he's saying in regards to some of those women. Some of y'all ladies out there be leaving y'all blessings for what exactly? Where is this magical, amazing nigga who was gonna show up to pick up the slack when you left the nigga who was showing up and not giving you any slack? Somebody make it make sense. So I just gotta speak to that because my heart breaks for some of y'all bad decision, lonely out there right now, women that I heart for. So let's say that. Now, number two, okay, I think his perspective might have been, yes, I dropped some kids in them. When I did do so, I could see them being my wife. But guess what? They just had impatience, could not follow leadership, could not sign up for the program, could not submit properly. And so now here I am. So just the fact that I got them pregnant alone is not enough for me to commit to them a certain type of way. And I think people just got to be honest about that, right? Yes, he might have had good intentions. Unfortunately, they were impatient, and what he gonna do, right? Except for be a stand-up nigga, right? And take care of his kids. So, I mean, I hear y'all, but if y'all think that just because a man got you pregnant is gonna equal marriage, I don't even think that's a real thing in 2025. So I'm not even mad. I don't even see like what the conversation is about. Y'all don't value marriage, right? And y'all barely value your own bodies, dropping kids out here like it's nothing. So it's like, yes, the math is not gonna math in the world that we live in. I was not being toxic, but I do agree with him that yes, marriage does not mean, or no, pregnancy does not mean marriage.
That means you still wanted to be toxic over there. That's what that was.
Yeah, he had to get it out.
No, I mean, listen, if women want to hold babies up hostage for a ring, then do that. but they're not. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can just drop a seat anywhere. It's like the garden department at Home Depot.
Lord have
It's,
mercy.
so I'm sorry.
Let me just scratch my forehead because I might need some emotional ears versus womanese. I was planning on answering your question in womanese, the first part of it, which is why do women have timelines? The reason why we have timelines because we have women out here who've been with the same man for 10, 15 years and still ain't got no ring. And common law no longer matters in some states.
Y'all been
And
with him for
so,
6 months, S&M. These
no, I'm
women be in
saying,
a
I'm not
relationship for
saying for
6 months.
Dr.
Talk about
I'm not
American
saying Dr.
ability.
Umar.
No.
I'm saying why some women don't have a time frame because one, you have this some women who've been out there for 10, 15 years with the same guy, no ring in sight, got 15 kids, okay, 3 to 5 kids, but no ring in sight. And then when they finally do get the ring, they get divorced shortly after. So anyway, so the second thing is you have women who have kids with a man and no ring in sight again. And the minute they break up, 6 months later, he marries somebody else. The third reason is because nowadays we have dating coaches that are telling women that you should be married within 1 to 2 years after meeting your partner and without actually putting any type of context behind that to say why you should be married and the proper vetting skills. And yes, my voice did change for that because it's not knocking dating coaches per se, but at the end of the day, you need to do what's best for you and for yourself. But if you want to follow the dating coaches, bam, there you go. So I wanted to answer your question before I go on into my response. And I just want to make sure we got the womanese part out of it.
Oh, no, you
Okay.
killed it. You killed that. You was on point with that. Go ahead, girl. You
So
got it. I'm going to just shut my mouth.
so now in regards to him specifically, I'm going to agree with him to an extent, right? And the reason why is because nowadays we do have to recognize that we women, we've made it too easy for men. We've made it too easy to drop the seed off, to spray up the club, drop the seed, plant it, and then bring forth a baby without putting any boundaries or requirements in place in the first place. So if we don't want to be left holding the baby, then stop letting them spray up the club. Like put some protection in place. It's actually not that hard to have protection in place, simply to protect your womb. Because nowadays we see, especially in this day when we have so many different options for protection, like, come on, stop. Stop. You knew what you was doing when you allowed him to spray up the club. You thought you was going to get the baby because he was a stand-up hotep. Now, let me just stop because I know some folks don't like hoteps. So, but he was a stand-up individual. Oh, no. Oh, Devin telling on himself. Look at that. But anyways, he was supposed to be a stand-up individual all about, boom, black family, black power and everything. So you thought that you was going to get this ring because you got his seed and you were like, oh, he's going to take care of my seed. He's going to marry me. And you thought wrong. So that means you didn't vet him properly and understand his mentality, his framework, or his style to even fully understand that he was not ready for marriage. And so if you would have took the time to get to know him better, then perhaps you would have ended up with his seed and no ring. With that also being said, for in general, please stop assuming a baby equals commitment to you. The baby just equals commitment to the baby. Does not equal commitment to you. It does not result in a ring to you. There are a lot of women who assume that they can trap a man with a baby and say, oh, this is going to guarantee that ring. It's not. All it's going to guarantee you is late nights, diapers, and maybe an active father, depending on the person's disposition in life, right? So please stop assuming that. He's right. As far as the question that Jay asked pertaining to the community, is this the standard we want? No, we don't want this as the standard, but we're already here. So how are we going to we already put the cart before the horse. So now we need to reverse the order some way, some shape, somehow by having conversations like this. But that starts with you protecting your womb. And it starts with men practicing seed control, right? Stop spraying up the club. Women, stop allowing the spraying up the club. And we won't be having conversations like this because ultimately, if we're supposed to be building family to build community, then we got to start somewhere. And that starts with you taking responsibility.